Right, here we go. Fractions question. This comes up every year, a type of fraction. So first we work out what 4 times 6 is, then add the 5. 24 add 5 is 29 over 6. Turn it to improper fractions. 3 times 2 add 1. That's plus 7 over 2. Now we need to make the denominator the same, so we can times this by 3 and times the next one by 3. So we get 29 over 6 add 21 over 6. Now we can add the top. That's 50 over 6. 6 8's going to 50, so that's going to be 8. Remainder 2 over 6. Now we can't leave it like that because we can simplify that. Most of the time in your GCSE it will ask you for this answer in its simplest form. So now pause the video and give that question below. It's a slightly more challenging, and see if you can get 3 out of 3 marks. And here's the answer. I hope you got that correct, and well done if you did. Right, let's do this question here. The price of a computer increases by 25%. The price increase adds £40 to the price of the computer. Work out the price of the computer before the increase. So this is actually a really easy question. You just let 25% equals £40. The full price must be 100%, so we times that by 4 to get to 100%. Times it by 4, so that's 100% equals 160. A very cheap computer, but that's the answer. And then we're done. Now pause the video and give yourself a go on this question. Exactly the same principle. You might be able to jump to the answer. So pause the video, and now I'm going to go through it. Though I use this question as an example, imagine if this number was a bit more challenging, but we know the full price is 100%. It's 100%, it's going to be £100 there. But imagine this number is more difficult. How can we get 30% up to 100? Is we divide that by 3 to get to 10%, and then we can times that by 10 to get to 100%. And you can use this skill to do more challenging non-calc type questions. And of course that's 100. Because that would be 10 if we divide that by 3. And times that by 10 to get 100. Right, next question. Right, this is a grade 5 Venn diagram. Very easy if you just apply it. So this means all the numbers, this is an element of all the numbers, and that means all the numbers between 1 and 25 belong in this group. So even numbers between 1 and 25 belong in this group. And the numbers here will belong in A. This, of course, is in B. But if you look at this 8, that's in A and B. And so is C, and so forth. So how we start this off is, let's imagine we've got all the even numbers between 1 and 25. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 following that pattern. So 2 is in A, not in B and C. So we could quite nicely put 2 in here. Now 8 is in A, B and C. So it has to intersect all 3 of them. So let's put the 8 in. We've done the 8. Let's do all the numbers in A first. Let's do 10. 10 is in A, not in the others, and so is 14. Good, that's going to start to get us some marks. B has got 6 and 20. So B has got 6, but 20 is also in C, so we match that here. in this column here, because that's where B and C is, so we put 20 here. And C, we've covered the rest. 18 is not in A or B for C, and we have 22. That's good. So the numbers on the outside of the Venn diagram, well, 4 must be outside. We've got 6, we've got 8, we've got 10 used up already. So 4, 12, we have 14 in A, so the next one is 16. We've got 18, we've got 20, we've got 22. And those on the outside, those 4 are not in A, B or C, and we've covered all the even numbers between 1 and 25. And that's a very nice 5 questions. 5-mark question, but let's read this bit. Find a numbers chosen at random from the universal set E. Find the probability that this number is in the set. Now this symbol here means not A. That means it's not in A. Not A. A number is chosen at random, so that means how many numbers are between 1 and 25. Find the probability that this number is not in the set A. So not in A is, we can't include this because A is in it, so it'll be here. That's not in A. This is not in A. Here and the outside. Now we have to look how many numbers are there in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are, so it's out of 12, not in A, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the answer is divided by, let's simplify it. We can divide that by 4, so that's 2 over 3. Now, that is in the set not A, so that's all the numbers not in A. I hope that makes sense. So that should be quite straightforward, and that's how you do that question. Now year 11, we are not getting the mark for these types of questions, and it just requires a little bit of algebraic manipulation, and it's easier than you think. So let's see, a quarter of the surface area of this sphere is 25 pi centimeters squared. And here's the formula for the surface area. So if a quarter of the surface area is 25 pi, then 1 whole times it by 4, so the whole sphere surface area must be 4 times that, which is 100 pi. Wonderful. So it says find the diameter of the sphere. So let's use this formula here. So that means we know 100 pi equals 4 pi r squared. Now, we can divide both sides by 4 pi or just cancel out pi first. Let's just do that step because pi is on both sides. So that means 100 equals 4r squared. We divide by 4, divide by 4 to get 25 equals r squared. Now the square root of 25 equals 5, which equals r, the radius, and the diameter is double the radius, so 5 times 2 equals 10, so the diameter equals 10 centimeters. That's quite easily done. Now pause the video and give the next question a go yourself. And here is the answer. The diameter is going to be 12.65. Well done if you got there. Now remember, for this section you can just divide out by 4 pi in one step to jump to 40 equals r squared, but I'm just showing you each step at a time. Right, we've done this in the past. Let's see if we can remember how to do this. So that means we try to create a formula, and we start with writing y is, that means y is proportional to x. So we know y equals some type of constant times x. That's what it's proportional when you use the letter k. We substitute the numbers in. So 144 equals 1.2k. Now we divide out by 1.2, divide out by 1.2, and remember in our first video about dividing decimals, we can turn that, if we don't know, if this is a non-calc, we turn that into 1140 over 12. If you don't like this, let's half it to make it 720 over 6. Okay, so my board's going funny. 720 over 6. Which you might know is 120. But let's just do that as a bus stop. 6, 1, the remainder 1, 2, 0, 120. So 120 equals k. We can then write this formula y equals 120x, because k is 120. So when x equals 5, y equals 120 times 5, which is 600. So y equals 600. A very easy 3 marks on a 3-mark question. And bear with me a moment, I think I have to recharge my tablet because it was going a bit funny. Right, we'll do pause the video and see if you can give the question below a go. And here's your answer. If you've got y equals 300, then well done. That is here. Now the next, this question says make a the subject of the formula. So can we see we've got a in a fraction, so we need to multiply both sides by a minus 3. Now I'm going to need lots of space, so that cancels out the a minus 3 at the bottom, so we get w a plus 4 equals b a minus 3. Right, so there's still an a on both sides, so we need to multiply out these brackets on both sides. So that's going to be ab minus 3b. Now what we want to do is to get a's all on one side. So I'm showing you we're going to minus ab on both sides. So what happens is we're going to get wa, this ab is going to come over, minus ab plus 4w equals minus 3b. Now we want a on one side, so we're going to minus 4w on both sides as well. So we're going to get rid of this 4w, minus 4w, minus 4w. Now what we get then is wa minus ab equals minus 7w. Can you see here we can factorise this a out? A w minus b equals minus 7w, and then we can divide both sides by w minus b, so we get left with a equals minus 7w all over w minus b, and that's how you do that. So pause the video and see if you can give this a go, and then I'll try and walk us through this one. Hope you're ready. So we multiply both sides by a minus 3, so what we're going to get is w 2a plus 4 equals 3b a minus 3. We're going to expand out the brackets, so we're going to get 2aw plus 4w equals, we should do it in alphabetical order, 3ab minus, multiply out these brackets, minus 9b. Bring all the a's together and w's on the other side, so what we're going to get is 2aw minus 3ab. Remember, we're going to minus this 4w, so we brought this over and we're going to make a minus that, so it's going to be minus 9b minus 4w. We're going to factorise this out and take a out, so we're going to get a 2w minus 3b equals minus 9b minus 4w. Divide out by this bracket here, so the answer is a equals minus 9b minus 4w all over 2w minus 3b. Apologies if that's not super clear. Do let me know in class if you want me to go over this topic if it was not taught to you thoroughly, and we'll do some practice on that.